5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch me. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, I'm Ayana.
And I am Abakah.
And this is the Abakahs Be Extraordinary Podcast.
So welcome for another amazing conversation.
Yes.
Talk with us. We hope that you enjoy our talks. And of course, be sure to, you can reach out to us, give us some feedback, comment on the video on YouTube, or also go to Anchor, and you can also, on our Anchor channel, you can also even just, respond and give us some feedback on what you think.
Yes. iTunes, all of that.
Yes. And be sure to give us a rating on iTunes too.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
For sure. All
right, so we're going to go into our topic for today, and it is gender roles in parenthood. So gender roles in parenthood. I'm excited about this particular topic and podcast because I actually did a poll on my Instagram that, had some really great responses. So I actually have my phone here, and we're going to look at, some of the polls and responses that I got from this particular topic and the questions that I put out. And, people were very responsive. So,
yep, true story.
Yeah. So, I guess you want to go into some of the questions that we asked, and then
ready.
We can kind of elaborate on it or whatnot. Okay.
I'm definitely ready.
So let's see. Let me go to my poll. Let's see. So the first question that I asked, and now with the polls on Instagram, it's yes or no. There's not like a A, B, C, D answer or anything like that. It is a A or B, yes or no type poll. So my first question was, whose main responsibility is it to take care of the baby? And 95% said mom, and 5% said dad.
Well, you better get to work.
I did get
people said it's your responsibility.
I did get some people who, DM'd me and said both. So I want to say, if I had to really look at the results, I would say maybe 65% said mom. Then
based on their other feedback too.
Yeah, based on the both feedback. So 60 to 75% said mom. Then the small percentage, what is it? That 25% said both, and then that 5% said dad. So, but I just thought it was really interesting because, some of the responses that I did get in my DMs, concerning it being the mom's main responsibility was like one person said that, especially in the first 3 months of the baby being on this earth, with breastfeeding and trying to figure out, schedules and stuff like that. And also they said that, the dad may not be comfortable in changing diapers and all of that. So the first 3 months is the mom. And
Should we have said whose main responsibility is it to take care of your child?
I don't know. I don't know. But I guess my thing with that particular, I get what they were saying when it came to breastfeeding and that type of stuff, because, especially some children, they cluster feed. Well, not some. A lot of children in the beginning, they cluster feed, and some of their cluster feeding is ridiculous. It could be every 30 minutes and all of that. So I get that. I really do get that. And then they don't encourage you to start pumping so quick. Mm-hmm. So, because you want to make sure that your milk production is coming in and all of that. But the part with the changing diapers, I was like, okay, this is where I feel like women, we got to change some things. If your husband or your significant other is not comfortable with changing diapers, you have to help and encourage them to be comfortable with changing diapers. shoot, I was not comfortable. Like, I've changed so many diapers, nieces, nephews, godson, goddaughters. I've changed diapers. But when it came to my own child, I was so nervous. Like, that first day, you know, they were like, all right, this is your baby. Here you go. And we're all in the hospital room, and it's just me, him, and the baby. And, oh, she's wet. All right, this little body, and Haven was little. She was 6 pounds, and she was not. This is full term 6 pounds. Like, I was a little baby, my brother, all of that. So little babies just come out, you know. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So we had the same type of nervousness. So I don't think that it's like I feel like men are not equipped enough to do certain things for their children because not equipped. Like, men are not encouraged or what is the word? I
mean, I'll just say encouraged
or pushed or Inspired. I guess that's why I said equipment. So bad choice of words. But sorry. Thank you for correcting me. Meaning, like, we don't encourage men enough. Like, it's an automatic, like, oh, he can't do that. Oh, he don't know how to do that.
Yep.
Or and automatic.
We just fall into that. We actually accept it.
I guess I don't.
I guess I'll never know.
Or automatic assumption that, okay, if the baby's hair is done or they're dressed or they're they look good or they smell good or whatever, it's like, oh, mom had to do that. And I'm like, nah, I wasn't even there this morning. He dressed her. Yep. I was at the gym. Yep. He woke her up. I was at the gym.
Yep.
He changed her. He combed her little hair. You know, he got it. He got it, you know. So I thought that was a little interesting. So
I definitely agree because for me, seeing the poll result of the 95% saying that it's the mom's responsibility, that kind of, honestly, it was kind of, I don't want to say shocking because I kind of get that energy from people, that's kind of how they see that it should be, especially, in a household or whatever. But I don't agree with it. And I think for me, I don't agree with it because just like in our last podcast, I do feel that when it comes to gender roles, that it's whatever you and your spouse discuss works for your household. I don't feel like it's a universal law. So whenever something or some like implied mandate comes down, like, well, this is what's supposed to be, this is what the wife is supposed to do, this is what the husband is supposed to do, that bothers me. I don't like it.
And it's funny because I agree with what you're saying with disgust, but it's also, I personally feel like some women just need to let up.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, because I am in some, mom Facebook groups and stuff like that, and these women do not trust their husbands to do anything. Husbands, significant others, and I'm like, if you don't show them or teach them, they're never going to know.
But see, there's also a way to do it because honestly, what I feel like some there's a lot of micromanaging when it comes to parenting. And the mother or the wife assumes that responsibility that it's on me. Like, this is finally, it's my rite of passage. I birthed the baby and I definitely get it. But it's like, it's my rite of passage. I got this. So I'm going to show you how to raise our baby. And it turns into that more than, hey, this is our baby. Let's figure out how to raise this baby. So it's more of, I feel like it's kind of force taught when it comes to the guy. Like, the mom is like, no, you're not doing it right. But I'm like, you've actually never, if it's your first child, you've never done it yourself.
Exactly.
You just more so seen, or you've been nurtured or conditioned to say that, okay, this is how a baby is supposed to be raised, but you don't really know yet.
That's the word I was looking for before. I feel like women, or a lot of women, need to empower their significant others more.
Yeah,
definitely empower them, because it's a lot of, like, you see it in commercials, you see it in, like, whenever we talk about men and children, it's like, oh, they don't know how to take care of their own children,
and they always got us looking stupid.
Yeah,
like, commercials, how do like listen to
real dumb. But
like DJ Paul.
I know with me personally. Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry.
I can't. Okay, moving on. If y'all don't know who that is, just went over your head. Nothing happened.
Nothing to see. But everybody back to work.
But I personally, with us, I had to really, be like, all right, my husband got this quick. Because, I had a C-section, unexpected C-section. If you guys don't know, we planned for a natural childbirth. We were going to do a nice little water birth at the birth center.
Man, we picked out our pool.
All of that.
I had my swimming shorts.
Yeah,
I was ready.
We had everything, and we found out that Haven was breached while I was in labor. So I had to have a C-section, and my recovery was not... It was not like the easiest thing in the world. I mean, I had abdominal surgery. Yeah. A whole baby got pulled out of my stomach.
Can we do a tangent real quick?
Go ahead.
Just because I thought about the first night with Haven.
No, we ain't gonna talk about it, because that is too much. Like, that is too much to go into right now. But like, just the simple, like, I had to trust him for, like, really quick, because it was like, for the first week, I was so tired because I still had these drugs in my system. It was just, I was groggy. Mm-hmm. All of that, trying to figure out how to breastfeed. She wasn't latching, all that type of stuff. So with that, I was sleeping a lot. When I'm sleeping, if she's up, or if I needed, just a mental space of, I need to sleep and get these, especially that first day, I had to sleep all them little drugs off. And then I was finally home. I can't sit there and be like, no, this is my baby. No.
How you doing?
This is my baby. This is my baby. I couldn't do that, and I remember at one point, I remember, like, when all the family went home and all of that, at one point, I just remember you taking her out. Like, I was in the bedroom and I was sleeping. I went to sleep, and you took her out, and she was, like, in the living room with you. And it was just like just giving me that, like, that break. Like, I remember that. Hey, and then especially a couple of times within our first few months when you were home, you would take her out, and I would have that, especially like when I was home by myself with her all day. You would come home and just be like, all right, I got this, rest, because it was a lot. So yeah, it was definitely a lot. So very, very appreciated.
It's funny because I know that like, I do appreciate that you're not to offend anyone, but you're not a typical woman as far as to force me to be a certain way as far as a parent. Like, well, no, you're doing it wrong. Lord, I appreciate you weren't like that, because
okay.
That would have sucked. But
don't say typical. Say, like, a micromanaging woman.
Thank you, because I don't want to offend nobody. I'm not saying that that's what ladies do. So
yeah,
really, I'm not. But no, I appreciate that you're not like that, because on one side we were almost forced to not be like that, because with you having a C-section, like, there was no choice. It was just, this is what it is. I need your help. Like, I need you. Because
I could barely get out the bed.
Yeah, and I know, like, I don't know if I changed her first diaper. I almost feel like I did. I know I changed her first poop diaper.
Yeah.
And
because she was like, what is this?
Yeah, I wasn't ready. Yeah. Like, it was black and just...
Yeah.
Ew. But I I know when, like, it's funny because I've changed a couple of diapers in my life.
That's funny. We're kind of going into the next thing of...
the diapers?
One of the other questions was, which parent should always be on diaper duty? So I want to, like, just say that question so we can touch that.
Okay.
And 51% said mom and 49% said dad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I know with me, like, because I did change a couple in my life, it was more of like I was kind of thrown into it because it was like you weren't able to get up and do it. Mm-hmm. She needed to be changed. All right, I'm about to change her, and I was like, ew, what is that?
Yeah.
But my point is, I appreciate having the opportunity to be able to see what it was for myself, rather than, or even because I didn't turn around and say, hey. How am I supposed to? It was like, look.
And then I remember, like, she was laying on the bed in the hospital. Either she was laying on the bed or we had her in the bassinet.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember sitting up and I'm watching you and I'm like, I know it can, because it's going to be a little sticky and because it was the first poop. If anybody knows about the first poop with the baby, it's like tar. So I'm like, it's going to be it's going to be a little sticky. I'm like, yeah, just make sure and, like, the little cracks and crevices, make sure she's clean. And, I trusted you. I'm like, you got this.
I mean, and some things, I don't know. I don't have that body part. Like.
So it's like, I showed you, like, how to make sure and clean her, how to wipe and all of that. And now it's like, at 10 months, I'm like, that's your daughter as well. Yeah. So.
Definitely. So.
I think, honestly, some people are just very scary when it comes to certain things. And then some people are, also a little old school. They feel like a man should take care of the little boys and do things with the little boys, and a woman should only take care and do things with the little girls.
I think there needs to be a nice, healthy exposure to both.
Yeah.
Because without it...
and then some people operate in fear because they don't want men, changing little girls' diapers and stuff like that. And
I mean, it was uncomfortable for me.
So
it was weird. Like, it was... Because again, I don't have that body part. Yeah. Like, so it was weird for me at first. Like, I don't want to do something wrong. I don't want to wipe in the wrong direction, because with us, we can just, do anything. But with y'all, it's like.
But I guess that's why, like, it's like, that's where I feel like as women, we need to empower our significant others and showing them. And don't get frustrated,
Yeah, because you got to be patient. But then also, even the significant other, us as men, we have to be teachable and not think that you're just trying to bully or think that you know it all. Because I know that the ego sometimes will come up like, oh, what you think I don't know how to change? No, I don't. Like, I don't have that.
Yeah, that pride. And because, like, I mean, our desire for our next child is to be a little boy. Yeah. And listen, I don't know nothing about the little penis. I don't.
I got you.
So
you wake up in that morning.
I heard some things even as a young little boy.
It happens early.
I'm like, I don't know anything about that. Yeah. So you're gonna have to teach me, and you're gonna have to show me, and I'm gonna be like, hey, get your child. So
I got you.
Yeah.
She run the room like, look. Look.
Sheesh. In your household, next question. In your household, who is the main disciplinarian? 69% said mom and 31% said dad. For this particular topic of who's the disciplinarian, it's so funny because we had many discussions about this, especially with, we have nieces. We have 3 nieces, and 2 of them in particular would be around us like all the time. Mm-hmm. And well, they're still around us all the time. But, and our oldest niece, she was actually born the week that we actually started talking to each other.
Yep.
The
first, after our first conversation on the phone, the next day she was born.
Yeah. So I've literally been in her life as long as she's been alive.
Yeah.
I met her like at a month old, something like that. So, with
that's kind of fast. You met the baby,
the family at a month. But so with them, especially with our nieces growing up under our eye and being around us, they would run over him. They would definitely run over him. And, it'd be like certain instances where I'd be like, babe, you really have to put your foot down with certain things. You can't let her do this, that. And like, they would come over our house and like be all like running all over the place. I'm like, babe, you have to talk to them. Because I would talk to them, but I feel like I would be the mean auntie constantly like, sit down. Don't do that. Sit down. Especially like at our oldest niece is 10 now. Now she's good. She's a super she's a preteen. Like it's like you would think, it's weird because you would think she's like 12 or whatever. She's 10 and she's already in that preteen phase to me. But but it's just, so it's certain things that I would be like, oh my gosh. So I thought it was going to be hard for him to be the disciplinarian when we finally started having our own children. I was mistaken. This guy right here, good job. Because Haven is 10 months and she tries us. She really does, especially now that she's exploring. She's crawling. She's taking some steps. She wants to touch everything. Like if she's not in her playpen, she's crawling all over the house, pulling up on everything. The coffee table. You can't leave anything on the table because she will pull it down. She will, everything. The remotes, our phones, all of that. And it's certain things. It's like, no, don't do this. Don't do that. And I don't have to be like, babe, you just make sure and tell her, babe. Like, I feel like it's like he really surprised me because it was an automatic like, hey, Haven. Like, it's not like I don't want to discipline my little girl. That's my little, like, I think, yeah. I know it's really early in the game, but, like, just to see, like, all right, you're not letting her run over you when it comes to different things and,
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's because I got my feet wet. Because with our nieces, like our niece Kendall, she actually is the first girl, like, in this generation. and as far as, like, especially from my brothers, because like there's a lot of us, and all of my brothers and sisters, it's like all boys. So at least the ones that are here. Excuse me. So with that, like when Kendall was born, it was like, oh my goodness, like this beautiful chocolate girl, like she's the one. And it was kind of weird, especially because she was so cute, and I was like, I don't know if I can discipline her because I just want her to be happy. Mm-hmm. But I feel like just because of time, then also with being experienced to her, having to also experience her, then also with Cam and Jay, just kind of seeing those different sides. Mm-hmm. When it came to our own, I was like, look, y'all cute, but y'all go back to y'all parents. Mm-hmm. She's cute, but she with us.
Staying with us, yeah.
I'm not about to have you losing your mind talking about, well, I'm cute, so I can do whatever I want. Mm-mm. And then we go outside and you think you're going to embarrass me.
Yeah. And that's why, like, we even have her a structure and a schedule for her. And, it's not like, oh, she can just be up all night. Or like, oh, like right now, she's asleep. She's been asleep for a few hours now. And she sleeps all night. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, like we have a good structure set up for her. And we both follow that structure, yep. And I appreciate that because it's like I've seen in certain instances where it's like the mom has to be the disciplinarian and the dad is kind of like they let the kids do whatever. Like if we go out, like if I go out, like I went to a business event and it was a women's event, and I left and I didn't come home till about 9, almost think 9:30 or something like that. Like when I came home, Haven was in her bed. It wasn't like, oh, well, I thought it would be fun for her to stay up with me while you were gone so we can just bond a little bit or something. No.
You can take your butt to sleep.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm tired.
So, so I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I know for me, the thing I did, and I know we talked about this earlier too, it kind of had bothered me because, again, with me being the happy, I'm always smiling, never in a bad mood, like, I feel like people, sometimes you take that as a weakness, and you think that, oh, he just soft. I'm not soft. I'm just happy, and I choose to be. But I felt like people would kind of prejudge, and they would say, oh, well, shoot, I know she's the one that's going to discipline and put her foot down. And I'm like, no, actually, we put our foot down because we got two legs, so we both got to stand. And I'm just like, I don't know, I guess for me, I'm like, I feel like when it comes to, disciplining her and even our soon son, like, my thing is, I really don't want the pinning parents against each other, or I'm going to only run, like, I'm going to run the dad because he's the refuge, or I'm going to just run the mom because she's the safe place. No, I truthfully do want our kids, even after they're disciplined, to still feel safe that they can come and say, I love you, Dad. Like, because I know for me growing up, being African, like, I didn't realize it, but my mom said I was actually afraid of my dad. Like, to the point that I would, like, they both disciplined, but he disciplined. Like, he didn't use no belts. It was only hands. And he had, like, his fingers were like Ninja Turtles. They were like 5 inches thick concrete steel, like construction boot fingers.
Oh my gosh.
And they were literally 6 inches, like Timberlands. It was like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I was afraid of him. And I can probably count on my one hand how many times I went and got a hug. And that's something I don't want.
I mean, even I love you. You said you never heard I love you.
Nah.
So
I never did. And I heard I'm proud of you. I remember the time I heard it. So that's my thing. Like, I know the discipline is necessary, structure is necessary, but at the same time, love is the most important. So, but love isn't weak. It's not something that's like, oh, well, I love you. That means ha 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 ha. Ooh, ha. No, that's not love. Love really cares about you and helps to lift you up and build you up. So
I know with my parents, like I definitely couldn't pin them against each other, and I don't really remember, like, my mom is a thug. She's definitely a thug, and in some instances growing up, my dad was a little easier, but not that much. Like, if I did something like wrong, like bad, I was bad in school. Well, my thing was I talked too much. Like, it was always like, mouth. Yeah, like Ayana is such a great student and such and blah blah blah, but she's very talkative, And if I got in trouble or whatever in school, I couldn't, be like, sway one parent or whatever. Both of them would be on me. Like, it was an equal thing. So, I guess, like, transferring it into my own marriage and, having a child now, it's like, I want us to both be the equal disciplinarian, because I feel like when you allow the kids to come in and pin you against each other, that's when a lot of problems rise up.
Man, yeah.
Because kids know, like, some of these kids, they know how to sway you. Like, even Haven at 10 months, like, she knows, like I was telling her not to touch a plug earlier today, and I said no. I said, no, don't touch it. And she knows what I'm talking about. And she literally looked at me, put her hand out, and looked at me while she continued to try to touch the plug. And I said, no. And then she pulled her hand back, and then she looked at me again. And I was like, at 10 months, you gonna try me like this. Oh, okay, I got something for you. But but yeah, so like kids know, like they know, and they're gonna try you. And I am never going to let a child that we both produced.
You better say that.
We both produced come in between us. Like,
nope.
I was here first.
Yep.
He was here first. Like, you not gonna come and try to, you ain't messing this up.
Catch these hands, cuz.
So.
Anybody can get it.
But let's see. This is another good one. How do you feel about the phrase, dad's babysitting the kids? So, 87% said, sis, I hate that phrase. And that was my yes or no. And then 13% said, I mean, he is babysitting. Yeah. I'm just glad it was 87% that said, sis, I hate that phrase. So.
Because I'm 100%, I hate that phrase.
Yeah.
I loathe that phrase.
Dad's babysitting. Like, who? Oh, your husband babysitting? No. He's taking care of his daughter.
I can't babysit my child. That doesn't make any sense. Because I've never heard anybody say to a mom, like, oh, you're babysitting your kids? They'll say you have the kids or you're watching the kids. Like, they don't say you're babysitting your own kids because it's not an option. I feel like babysitting is optional.
Yeah.
It's like, it's more of a choice. Like, you can babysit or you can't. Like, it's up to you. But this parenting isn't optional. Like, it's something that you, once it's on, you cannot turn it off. Like, it's nonstop.
I think some people,
excuse me.
I don't know what this is about, like, because I remember when I first had Haven, I think, especially after my 6 weeks, I did go out.
Lord.
What?
I don't know why I keep yawning.
Oh, I did start going out, like, a little, because I think her 2-week appointment, I had to go by myself because you had to go to work.
Yep.
And so I did little things with her before 6 weeks, the 6 week, thing. But especially after 6 weeks, I was like, okay, I'm going to go get my nails done. I'm going to go do this, and this. And, she would be home with Sylvester because, we both work from home with our company. So, she would be home with Sylvester. And if I went certain places, to pamper myself, or I'm going to go grocery shopping, I'm going to go do this for us, blah, 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 because it was just easier for me to do it by myself. People would be like, oh, so your husband is babysitting, or, oh, you're letting your husband watch her? What? Let? That's his baby too, honey, girl. Bye. Let? Oh, you're comfortable with him watching her by himself? What he gonna do, kill her? Like, are you serious? He is very much equipped to, to take care of his own child, Hey, here's this bottle. Here's this. Her schedule too, on her eating schedule. You know how to change her diapers. I'm out. That's it. In the beginning, I would call in and check in and be like, hey, just want to make sure everything's okay. Do you need me to bring anything home? Because I'm the one that was out. Let me know if you need me to come home quicker or whatever. You might need something. Do you need to go somewhere too? Those types of things, like communication. But I wasn't sitting there like, oh, he can't handle it. Like, it really bothered me because every time I went out, even now, like, she's 10 months and I still get that reaction from some people. Oh, where's the baby? Why didn't you bring the baby? She at home with her daddy. I need this break. Like, can I get my nails done, or can I do something in peace? Like, listen, she is very busy. It ain't gonna be no break, So.
Yeah. That's my baby. I don't babysit my baby. That's like, I don't know. I'm gonna just shut up. But I can't stand that phrase.
In other words, like he said, he don't like it.
I don't like that phrase at all.
So, I just don't like the expectation that people have. Like, it's like this. I'm like, okay, what kind of relationships or marriages or whatever do y'all know and have that the children are with the mom like 90% of the time.
I mean, I know that's kind of like I don't want to say traditional, but it's like, it's the thing, like we see it in movies. Honestly, I feel like we're more so conditioned to see like parenting a certain way. Like, because in all of the movies and all the commercials, the dad doesn't know how to do nothing. He doesn't know how to change a baby. Like, it's like the dad is looking at, it's like they treat dads like the baby is a freaking desk from IKEA. Like, you get it and you open up the instructions and they're like, what are these instructions and all these extra parts? And they're holding the baby, like, trying to look at the picture like, how do I put this together? And I'm like, we're not stupid. Mm-hmm. Like, it's this, at the end of the day, this child, this human being is going to grow.
I mean, there are some people who think y'all stupid. Because
I know they think
the next question that kind of went with this was, would you take a weekend trip and leave your baby with their father? So 85% said, yep, have fun, bye, have fun. And 15% said, hell no. Yep.
I don't know why. But see, okay, this is my thing. And this is why, like, the babysitting, that pisses me off. Well, it frustrates and annoys me. But then also the I guess the lack of trust when it comes to the husband or the father, especially when y'all are together. When you're not together, I don't know what that's like.
And it's funny because I'm looking at some of the people who voted hell no, and I'm like, well, maybe they're not with their child's father or whatever. I don't know.
And that's like the only way I can kind of see that. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, if you are with the father, my thing is, they are there to also help. You know, like, there's a shared responsibility when it comes to the child. It's not one-sided, and you shouldn't accept that it's one-sided to just kind of push it to assume the whole responsibility, because then you end up being stressed out. You end up becoming depressed. You end up saying, I don't have a life anymore. You end up saying, nobody cares about me. Nobody thinks about me.
I think that it's society puts that pressure on as well. Yeah. Remember, it's a popular family that vlogs. I'm trying to remember their names right now, but my mom watches them all the time. And
it's from Australia?
No. Oh. Not Australia. They're it's a interracial couple, black mom, white dad.
They're on commercials?
Yes.
I know you're talking about. I don't remember that.
Yeah, y'all probably know who I'm talking about. And okay, so they have a son and they have a daughter. And she had the daughter, and I think either a couple of weeks after she had her daughter, there was this My Leaks conference, the My Taught You conference, the retreat. It was this big retreat that she got invited to go to, right? So she went to the retreat. I think the retreat was weekend long, 3-4 days, and she went. And she got chastised so bad online because she left her newborn at home with her husband and she went on this retreat. Now, I ain't seen nothing wrong with it, because I was like, first of all, this is not even their first child. This is their second child. And I'm pretty sure she had all systems in place. And, I don't know if she breastfed or she did formula. I don't know. I don't care. But they had all their things in place, to make sure that baby was taken care of. She was fed, she was dry and all of that, with her dad, who is very responsible. And she went and enjoyed her retreat. And she needed that. She needed that time. She got blessed by the retreat. It was refreshing for her. Like, she needed that, But she got chastised. So, like, there was people in her comments was like, I can't believe you. You're a horrible mother.
How?
Like,
how?
I don't, like,
what is he there for?
I could never leave my child, my newborn, blah, blah, blah.
That's why you don't go nowhere. That's why you mad at everybody. That's why you depressed. That's why you sad. That's why you say, I can't take care of myself because I have to always tend to these kids. He don't care about me. That's why, because you're not you're not sharing the responsibility. Like, and I'm sorry, like that's just, it is what it is. Like, you have to. There's a reason why it's a partnership.
I know that when you have a child, there are different sacrifices that you make. Mm-hmm. I know that, but I will never forget myself. Like, the thing is that you cannot be an amazing parent if you're empty.
Nope.
Like, you cannot be an amazing parent if you're empty. So you have to be a little selfish and put yourself first in certain things, and make sure and have that self-care, and make sure and constantly be filling yourself up so that you can put out and be an amazing parent, put out and be an amazing spouse, put out and be an amazing worker or entrepreneur or whatever, you know? So I feel like burnout happens in parenthood, especially because we're constantly putting out and not filling ourselves back up. Yep. And then also putting so much pressure on ourselves, and then also having the nerve to like put on pressure on other people. Like, listen, I don't care what nobody say about me and my parenting skills or whatever. My child is clothed, she is fed, she's very well taken care of. If you think that, oh, we do too much, oh, she's always like, oh, she always got her hair done and her nails done, because I can and I want to, and that's my self-care. And like, I feel better, you know? Like, it's weird. It's like weird because people expect you as a mom to be looking like just exhausted and crazy, and your child, like, you put your all into her and she looks beautiful, and then you look a hot mess. No, we both about to look good.
Yeah.
So
it's honestly necessary, and that I know for me, like, my passion comes from the place of, I don't know what it's like to carry a child. Mm-hmm. I will never in life know what it's like to carry a child. That's not for me. And for me to be sitting there during the time that Haven was cooking and seeing you sitting up going to sleep, leaning over on a pillow trying to prop yourself up because when you laid back you might throw up because it was sitting on your chest. Like, seeing those things, I'm like, I don't know what that's like. Mm-hmm. I there's no way for me to even imagine what that actually feels like. I complain if somebody bothers me when I'm trying to sleep. Period. I'm talking about on a nice king size bed, laid out completely. I'm bothered because I'm like, you're interrupting my sleep. Mm-hmm. But to sit there and watch you endure that for 9 months and then bring a child in this earth, and for me to sit back and say, you know what, I know you did that for a whole year, but you need to keep on doing it for the rest of your life by yourself. No, that's selfish. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, like I said, this is my child as well, and the responsibility has to be shared, because there are times where I'm going to need to go out, I'm going to need to get away, and you're going to be watching our child. You're not babysitting our child. The same way you're going to need to get out. You're going to need to get away. And I'm going to be watching our child. Yeah. Or we're all going to go out and we're watching our child together. Mm-hmm. It's a team effort.
Or we're also going to need those moments where, you know, I'm grateful for amazing parents who are now grandparents, who are like, bring my grandbaby here, you know, I'll watch her for the weekend. Like, that even surprised some people. Like, I think Haven went with my parents at 2 months or 3 months?
It may have been like 3.
I think it was 3 months. Like, her first, I don't even know if it was a full weekend. Maybe it was a day or two, or like,
it was a day first.
It was a day. And, you know, of course we missed her, but we needed that little time for us. And, you know, since then, she's just about every month she's gone over their house for maybe a weekend, or, you know, or however, I don't know. I feel like it was some months that she didn't go, but just the fact, like, people would have different comments of, oh, she's over your parents' house again, or making comments to my parents like, oh, y'all have her again. Oh wow, they're letting y'all watch her. And I'm like, my mama raised me, like, you know, like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's really weird because I feel like some people put these pressures on parenthood of, oh, you know, that's your baby and they have to constantly be with you 24/7. And I'm like, listen, we need our time. We need our date nights. You know, that helps strengthen our marriage when we have our time as well.
Yeah.
So this next question that I asked is actually going to go into the next few questions and then we'll close. So this question I asked, how do you feel about co-sleeping with your baby? And 43% said I'm for it, and 57% said no babies in our bed. And I purposely asked this question because Haven co-slept with us for the first 2 months. Really 6 weeks, because that's how long it took me to be at, like, I couldn't get up. Like, it was so, I had to get a step stool to step up and get in our bed. Like, that's how my ab muscles were so sore and everything hurt trying to move. So I had to, like, that's how it was. So there was no way I was going to be able to step or move and have a bassinet next to me and try to, you know, pick her up and and, you know, try to do all that. So we had a co-sleeper in the middle. Thank God for our king size bed. We had a co-sleeper in the middle. She slept in the middle and, you know, Sylvester was on the other side. And we did that for about 6 to 8 weeks. And that's what worked for us. Once I got healed, Haven went from that co-sleeper to the bassinet on my side. And then at 4 months, Haven went to her room, her crib. Now, there are a lot of people who co-sleep. They co-sleep a long time. There are people who have 3 and 4 year olds still in their bed.
Nope.
Me personally,
nope.
I'm not judging. If this is you, do what you do. That will never happen in our house. I do not believe in that. I don't, because I feel like, first of all, if this child is in my bed, how am I supposed to get busy with my husband? Like, I am so amazed at how some people have multiple children because their children is co-sleeping. Like, are y'all like, the child is like at the edge of the bed, like knocked out, and y'all like, all right, let's get it real quick.
Exactly. Over there whispering.
Whispering. Like, ooh, girl. Ooh, ooh. Shh, 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 shh. Don't shake the bed too much.
Don't move.
I ain't trying to do all that. No, I'm not doing all that. So Stop. You need to go in your room. Like, so it's some people I'm like, how y'all got about 5 kids and all of them sleep in the bed with y'all?
Look, man.
It's like just adding kids into the bed, co-sleeping.
Haven trying to come in that room if she want to.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And then like, and then the thing that I never understood, like, you know, Haven's 10 months and I, you know, when I left the hospital, I had to sign a paper saying that I was not going to co-sleep with my child. Like, I had to sign a paper that was saying not co-sleeping because it can cause SIDS and all of that. And if I was going to co-sleep, to make sure and have a co-sleeper in the bed. There's a lot of people that do not use a co-sleeper. They got the baby right there tucked right there or laying next to them and all of that. And I'm like, okay, more power to y'all. Y'all do y'all thing. Like I said, no judgment. I just don't understand. And so I'm going to segue because I feel like, all right, I'm about to ruffle some feathers. So the next question, and I have to say this before I say what I say about co-sleeping. Do you feel like your relationship or marriage got stronger or weaker after having children? So 61% said stronger and 39% said weaker. I think that some people's marriages get weaker because they put the children before their spouse. And there are some people, like I said, I am a part of certain mom Facebook groups and stuff like that. And they're like, I don't care what the father thinks. This baby's sleeping in my bed. That's my baby. I want to snuggle with them. That's my child. They gonna be here, such and such. That's my child. That's my child. That's my child. And that's why I feel like, so, and it's not just specifically co-sleeping. I gotta say that because I don't want y'all in the comments like, but such as I co-sleeping, my marriage is fine. My marriage is fine. I'm not saying it's just co-sleeping. Co-sleeping is just an example. Because I feel like, get them kids out your bed. They don't need to be there. They good. They are fine.
You really think about
Trust me.
They don't need to be there.
Because by the time
unless y'all got one bed in the house.
Yeah. By the time half of them turn 3, 4, you ready to kick them out the bed, but now they having a hard time sleeping in the room.
I mean, not even just that. Honestly, like don't get offended. I feel like a lot of like when parents, of course they want to co-sleep, it's only co-sleeping out of convenience, right? Because it's really like, I have my child. Number one, of course, it's like, instead of me having to get up and go get the baby when they're crying or whatever, when they need something, I'll just keep them close. Cool, I got you. But then that turns into, I really just needed a hug. In other words, it turns into just more about being convenient and the child is there. And the reason why I say convenience is because the moment that the child begins to bother you, you're like, you need to get out of my bed. But like a month ago, you was like, nah, I love you. I just want you here. But then when you start getting them feet in your face and the booty on the side of your mouth, and then next thing you know, all the kicks and the slaps to wake you up when they ready to get up, then you're like, nah, you got to go. But I'm like, just have that same energy because that's going to happen. They're going to get like that. It's inevitable. Haven doesn't, and she don't even sleep with us.
Because I think some people forget that these kids grow up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's convenient. It's like, oh my gosh, my little pocket.
Like they like Haven.
I love you.
When she was younger, it was cute. She fall asleep on your chest, and she's co-sleeping in her little co-sleeper right there, and you're looking at her. And yeah. Now, that child literally sleeps like how I did when I was younger. My parents couldn't even have me in their bed. I was kicking, like I was karate chopping everybody in the bed. Haven, I think one time we took a nap with her in the bed. And I ended up she literally, I woke up and she was like right there. And I was like, why do they come towards the mom? Like she literally tucked herself right there. And I was like, listen, I'm not doing this. And that was a nap. That was a after church nap. We all fell asleep. And I was like, oh, nah. Yeah. Nah. And then she's hot. Nah.
Yep.
But,
hot body.
So some people did DM me about, the question if they, about weaker, if your marriage got stronger or weaker after baby. And one person said that weaker initially after baby 1, and then we got it together, and then it strengthened after baby 2. And she didn't elaborate much more on that, but I do think that some people, it probably gets weaker after baby 1 because it's like you have no idea what you're doing.
Yep.
So you just put your all into the baby.
Yep.
And you got to find that balance. You definitely have to find that balance. And I'm glad that throughout our 10 months of being parents, we have been able to find that balance and rhythm. And I know each year it's going to get where we have to continue. Like, we're not perfect. And I know that it's not going to be perfect. Like, I ain't saying we got it. We definitely don't have it. Because we're not even a whole year in yet. And I know after year 1, there's year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then especially when they start getting into activities and stuff like that, that's a whole nother ball game. Like, that's a whole nother ball game. And being parents, parents involved with school stuff and all of that. So I can't even comment on that yet. I just know right now I like where we're going with this, and I just pray that we keep it,
I mean, we have no choice, because it's like it has to be intentional. Mm-hmm. Like there's no, I don't feel that, at least for us, we can't be accidental parents. Like we don't stumble into this and just say, oh well, we have an awesome child and an awesome marriage because we just it just happened. It doesn't really just happen. It happens on purpose. And it's because we actually desire to be amazing parents. We desire to have an amazing marriage. So with that, like, it's intentional. So it is what it is.
The next question that I had, let me find.
How many more you want to do, questions wise?
I think I'm almost done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm almost done because I know we're gonna wrap up. Let's see. So the next question I did was, have you and your children's mother or father broken up after having children together? And I had 50% say yes and 50% said no. And then the question after that, I said, if so, do you feel like clashing in parenthood contributed to the breakup? And 33% said yes and 67% said no. One person, and that's actually the last question I had. One person did DM me and elaborate more, and they said that it wasn't a whole lot of clashing. It was more of he was just straight up jealous of the baby and left. And he left, and they have not seen him in 10 years.
Sheesh.
And I was like, wow. And I just had to commend her, like, as a mom. And she was like, she's a happy child. She's doing good. She's healthy. And, and it's just so unfortunate that he decided that, like, dang, that's your child.
Yeah.
Like, you're missing out on so much beautifulness. Like, oh my gosh. Every day is just such a wonder and amazingness with Haven. I could not imagine like missing out on that.
Nah.
So
it's funny because for me, I actually, for a second, I had a thought that I was kind of giving more attention or more love towards Haven over you. And I didn't want to create any jealous or any anything, any emotion, any bitterness, anything towards Haven and of course towards myself, because I noticed that, like, it seemed like I'll be like, let's say in the moment where we could be having a intense conversation, disagreement, whatever. I feel like in those moments it'd be like, get on my face. Oh my goodness. Hey Haven. Oh my gosh. I just love you. And it's like she's so like unashamedly and unconditionally loving. Like she just loves you. And like she doesn't think nothing, she just accepts you. And it's like, I didn't want to create a refuge, even though she's Haven, she is our safe place. I didn't want to create a safe place outside of you with our daughter, because I didn't want something to be built and then that can eventually grow into something that you're like, well, I guess you love her more than you love me. Like, so, and I didn't want that. And of course, hearing the different stories growing up of the couple saying that, man, like I kind of, or the husband always came in and gave the kids all hugs and kisses and it's like, hey, and when he came to me, yeah, so how was work? And it's no like love or affection. So I don't want that. So again, I feel like it's intentional.
Yeah. Well, that was all I had with the polls. I feel like we covered a lot, especially when it came to gender roles and parenthood. I know overall for us, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
It's a team effort when it came to who would change the baby's diaper in the middle of the night. It's a team effort. Like, I know, especially with the changing of the diapers, you would do a lot of the night things in the beginning because I was with her all day. Mm-hmm. And you were like, okay, I got you, you know?
And it's easier for me to fall asleep.
Yeah, for me, if I had to wake up in the middle of the night, I would be like up for the rest of the night. And it was horrible. So, like, I don't know what it is, but I think with us, you know, I know we can go on and on about this topic, and we maybe do a part 2 or whatnot, but I think, you know, like I said, we're not perfect, and this is our first year. We're going to probably talk about this again in our second year, in our third year, you know, however long this podcast goes. Mm-hmm. But our experience in our first year, I feel like, you know, we did pretty good. We you know, so.
I agree. I think we're off to a great start.
You know.
And I feel like it's only going to get better because that's what we desire.
So, just to close it, I guess my encouragement to people out there is really communication is key. Like, that's the thing that I always say, like, in relationships in general, you get to know somebody, dating, in marriage, in parenthood, communication. Like, we communicate and we talk about everything concerning, okay, this is what Haven's doing today. This is what I need to do. Can you help me with this? Such and such, such and such. Hey, babe, can you make her bottle? I got to go do this real quick. You know, like, everything is communication. And it's also how you communicate. It's not no, gosh, can you just go make her bottle? It's, hey, babe, can you make her bottle for me? I got to do this real quick, you know? So, and I'm not saying we perfect because we've had our moments, but overall, we communicate. And I think it's that mutual decision in our head that we're doing this together. Yeah. And it's not just one person's responsibility. So
definitely. I guess my takeaway is as a parent, build your custom parenthood. Like, it's not one size fits all. It is definitely what you make it. And somebody's child, how they're raised and how they respond to life is not how yours will. Mm-hmm. Even I'm talking about you can have Haven's blueprint, what we did every single day, and they're not going to be the same. So if the child won't be the same, don't think that your parenting skills will be the same, regardless of the type of parenting that you even came from. Because Ayana has amazing parents, but that doesn't mean that she'll be an amazing parent. Like, it's still a choice because I could suck as a dad and as a husband, and I could stress her out, which would in turn make her a horrible mom because she has to fight with trying to fight off the stress from me to try and be an amazing mom, and then the child could be stressing you out even more, and that's just the double weight. So it's something that it definitely has to be worked at. And again, I know with this just being year 1, I'm excited for year 5. I'm not too much looking forward to year 18 or year 13 or high school or prom or any of that. I just kind of want her to
get real, because
I just want her to stay small.
Stay small forever.
Don't talk back. Don't be real smart. Just smile at me and tell me you love me.
Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in and listening in. If you have any topics that you want us to cover, any questions that you want us to cover, email us at theabakahs@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or you can, email us at theabakahs@gmail.com. I'm the hair raiser on Instagram.
And I am Bakah.
You can DM us. Ladies, DM me. Don't DM my husband. But you can DM us.
If you end up DMing me, I'm going to just show her anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You can DM us and ask us questions as well. Or if you're like, hey, can you guys cover this on the podcast? And
Yeah, so I'm going to give my quote of the day. My quote of the day today is, I was actually trying to think of a good one. is oh my goodness, I just had it. Hold on. I just had the quote and it was like, I'm about to say it's so cool. My quote of the day. What is going on? Yo.
Be extraordinary. All right, y'all.
No, I'll just say it. Okay, my quote of the day is the hardest part of flying is leaving the runway. So until you let go of the security, you will never see how high you can get. Mm-hmm. So spread your wings out. And on that note, as usual, why settle for being ordinary when you can be extraordinary? So, Project B, Be Extraordinary Podcast, and we are the Abakahs.
Yep. Peace out.
I always hit the mic whenever I do that. It's like my fingers.
Because the mic is like super close to you. You're like this.
Hey, you shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Hey guys. Hey guys.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Are you done?
Hey.
Are you done or are you finished?
Hey. Bye.